Hey y'all, Miss Iman here, back with bite-sized Black history from a decolonized perspective. And during this month, I decided to try to spread some awareness about the way Black history can be taught, as well as talk about what I've learned over the past year or so teaching Black history on an international platform called OutSchool, as well as on our own website, kindacademy.org. So today I'm actually here with a bit of a, happier topic regarding teaching Black history or teaching history in general. I've always kind of embedded history in our curriculum for social studies for elementary and middle school students. So it's always kind of been a natural thing for me, but I've noticed a few things along the way. So I would love to talk to my homeschoolers and my teachers and honestly parents, because you're always teaching your children, right? So what I wanted to come to you today with was how to make history interesting, or whether history can be interesting. And history can absolutely be interesting. It's funny to me when I talk to students and they come to my class kind of thinking that, oh my gosh, I'm in this boring class again. Even yesterday I did a class and my son is my biggest critic. And he left class going, oh my gosh, Mom, that was so fun. Let's do it again. So I wanted to come to you with some ways, with my top 3 ways of making history interesting. So first, I like to make history as relatable as possible. So when I say relatable, that means that I try to talk about things that the kids are super interested in right now. So for example, in our Being Black in STEM class, which is like everyone's kind of favorite class, I talk about Black people who have been in the video game field. I talk about Black people who have done amazing things. Lonnie Johnson, he created the Super Soaker, and that was like so interesting to my kids. Like, oh my gosh, like without him, we wouldn't have Super Soakers. Like, oh my gosh, that's so mind blowing. So kids are really, really excited about history. One of the questions that my son asked me, he was like, why do we have to learn the history? All those people are dead. And I was like, we're making history now. Like, it doesn't have to be people from 100 years ago or people just from the civil rights movement. Like, I'm always talking to him about even current events. Like, that is making history now. So I try to keep it relatable, I try to keep it current, and I try to keep it kind of something that they are really kind of interacting with in their life right now. So if your kid is into something specifically, try to find Black people that are into that right now, or anyone from history, or anyone that is making history right now, to make it relatable. So that's my number 1 way. Another way to keep history interesting is to be honest. Like, I know that sometimes we like to clean it up and we like to make it something that it really isn't. And I think kids kind of can see through that pretty easily. So I always try to be as honest as possible without being completely, with trying to be age appropriate. I always try to keep it as true as possible so that children know that we're not lying to them and that we're not keeping things from them. I think that they really respect that. So I always try to be honest. Instead of kind of mincing my words, I say stolen a lot of times. If I'm talking about people who were kidnapped from Africa, I say kidnapped. I say trafficking. I say things like that. And that might seem like, oh man, we're being a little bit harsh with our words, but honesty is really, really important, because kids really know when you're not being honest with them. So those are my 2 ways. I'll totally jump back on and add another way when I get the chance, but right now those are my top 2 ways, right, to be completely, to have history be interesting for children and relatable for children. So just make sure that you're keeping it relatable, make sure that you're being honest, and also keep it very light, keep it fun, keep it short. That's my number 3 way. Is like, sometimes I get, oh man, we wish your classes were longer, and a lot of times I would love to do longer classes, but I also am, it's very important to me to keep it somewhere where the children don't get bored very easily, and they're kind of always kind of wanting to come back for more. And I do that by keeping my classes kind of short, and then they can really digest that information pretty easily. So my classes really don't go much longer than 30-35 minutes, and I know that they could go longer, but I like to keep it to the point, short, really bite-sized pieces, and even that to me is kind of long for lectures. But they really love that, and I think that really makes a way for them to, if they are interested in something, they can dive a little bit deeper. And if they're not really too interested in it, then it's something that they didn't have to spend this whole lot of time learning about, and they could dive into something else that they're interested in. So, top 3 ways, I will refresh what I just said. Top 3 ways to make history interesting. First, keep it relatable, keep it to something that the kids already know. Great example is Lonnie Johnson created the Super Soaker, something that kids were super excited about. Keep it short, keep it to the point, You don't have to spend hours and hours and hours trying to feed them all this information that they may not be super interested in. Keep it short and sweet. They like that. And then number 3 is to be honest. Try to be honest about what you're teaching them. They know, they will see through the nonsense. They usually do. And don't really mince your words, especially if it's age appropriate. They understand what kidnap means. If you need to say kidnap, that's what it is. You don't have to lie about it. You don't have to mince your words. You can be honest and open about what has happened in history. I think they respect that, because they really start getting upset when they find out that, hold on, no one told me that this is what happened. I get that a lot. So those are my top 3 ways to make history interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed my TED Talk, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for coming. Bye.